to our needs for these specific times. And that's what we're going to be doing here tonight together. Paying attention to our needs for these winter months. So seasonal affective disorder, which is when the winter blues is more than just feeling blue. We're going to talk about achy joints. We're going to talk about skin care and the endocannabinoid system and the immune system and different ways you can perk up your immune system. Maybe you're following a regular regimen for a different condition. Maybe it's migraines or PTSD, but learning about the endocannabinoid system and our immune system is going to really empower you to understand.
Oops, it looks like you were muted us.
It muted?
Okay, thanks, guys.
It must have muted one more time.
Yeah, I think this happens because someone takes control, but I'll keep an eye on it. It's in the corner of my screen, so I can see if that happens. Okay. Yeah, see, so somebody else, let me see, has control of the presentation. Okay.
Is there a chance that it's me because I've started the recording?
No, it shouldn't be. I think someone was just moving the slides. I think that happens sometimes. Okay. All right, so how are we doing? Can everybody hear me and can everybody see the screen?
Yes, all set.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Thank you for your patience. So first, what makes cannabis medicine? What makes cannabis medicine are the phytocannabinoids. These are the molecular components to the cannabis plant that work physiologically in our body to produce change. And really the purpose is regulation or homeostasis. So they really provide regulatory functions. So why do these compounds that come from a plant work inside of our body? So phytocannabinoids, you got THC, CBD, THCA, and CBN. Those are the most prominent cannabinoids that we have in the Connecticut program. Well, we have receptors all over our body, which are like locks, and these phytocannabinoids work like a key. So there's two receptors or locks in the human body, CB1 or the cannabinoid 1 receptors that are mostly present on our central nervous system, so in our brain. And the CB2 receptors are mostly present on our immune cells, as well as tissues, organs, and even in the skin. We have CB1 and CB2 receptors in the skin. So they discovered all these receptors all over the human body, and they said, wow, why do we have these receptors for compounds that come from a plant? Well, in the early 1990s, they actually discovered that our body makes its own versions of these cannabinoids, and they're called endogenous cannabinoids because they come from inside of us. Our body makes them itself. So the two most prominent endocannabinoids are anandamide and 2-HE. And anandamide was actually named after the Sanskrit word for bliss, ananda, which means supreme, the Sanskrit word for bliss or supreme joy. So that's your bliss molecule that exists inside of you. 2-AG is another endogenous cannabinoid. And so they put all of this together. They put the fact that we have our own cannabinoids, we have these receptors, other parts of the system to call it the endocannabinoid system. And what is the purpose of the endocannabinoid system? It has many, many functions in the human body. Overall, what it does is it provides homeostasis or balance. So help bringing our many physiological functions back into balance. It helps regulate our response to pain. It's really responsible for us maintaining a normal pain threshold. It helps us stimulate hunger, and also plays a part in the brain's reward pathway. So someone had emailed a question with their RSVP, which I think pretty much said, like, why does THC cause euphoria? So it actually works with the neurotransmitter dopamine. So similar to when you exercise and you get what's called a runner's high, that's dopamine and a couple of other compounds that get released. That is a part of that is your endocannabinoid system. So it plays a part in the brain's reward pathway through your neurotransmitter dopamine, and that's why it causes euphoria. Our natural cannabinoid system also helps maintain and reduce anxiety and depression, balances our neurotransmitters, and helps calm down our fight or flight response, and also provides strong anti-inflammatory functions as well as antioxidant functions, and helps with our sleep-wake cycle. So the endocannabinoid system is a complex molecular signaling system that will kick into gear in the occurrence. So if anything happens to your body, so maybe you have an injury, a physical injury, could be an emotional trauma, it could be something that has caused a tremendous amount of inflammation. Any acute change, the endocannabinoid system will kick into gear to reestablish normal levels and to activate pathways to bring the body back to homeostasis or balance. Now, what I find really phenomenal that I found in the research, the endocannabinoid system is present in almost every physiological function in the human body. And that explains why one plant is good for so many different disease states or different symptoms or different types of conditions. I think that it's really important for us to know what makes our medicine medicine. We're making this brave choice to use cannabis as our medicine, right? There's sometimes we're judged and there's a lot of stigma. So understanding that it just doesn't make you think you feel better, which I think a lot of us hear, that there is actual science behind this. There's a lot of research going on with cannabinoids. And so it's a really exciting time to be a part of cannabis as medicine with all of this great research that's coming out. So the endocannabinoid system is also present on our immune system. So cannabinoid 2 receptors are most prevalent on our immune cells. So most of our major fighters, our major warriors of our immune system do have receptors for cannabinoids. An example being the neutrophil, which is really the first line of defense for our immune system. It's a type of cell. So we do have cannabinoid receptors on many of our immune cells, and they are activated after infection or immune stimulation. But just like with inflammation, neutrophils play a part in that role. And inflammation is important as a physiological response to some type of attack. But if it goes on for too long, just like anxiety or fight or flight, it becomes a problem. So neutrophil overactivation can lead to tissue damage, chronic inflammation, autoimmune disorders, some types of infectious diseases, and non-infectious conditions. So your cannabinoids are actually going to help modulate that neutrophil activity in inflammatory conditions. Think about arthritis or colitis because of those receptors. So really common at the dispensary, and we've been doing this for years. If patients come in and they seem, they're picking up their medicine and they kind of feel like, oh, I think I'm getting sick, I think I'm coming down with something, depending on their tolerance and what they prefer for their delivery system, doing a high dose CBD, even something like the HH Red. If you're going to go home and rest anyway because you're not feeling well, that HH Red is an oral syringe. It's 20 to 1, 20 parts CBD, 1 part THC, taking a third and even a third in the morning. A lot of people have come back and said, wow, they feel so much better. They kind of almost feel like they escaped whatever they were coming down with. And of course, using something daily in a lower dose can help protect and boost your immune system over time. All right, some more tips to boost your immune system. Vitamin C. Something easy that you can do is adding lemon to your water every day, whether it's warm water or cold water. And of course, stay hydrated. Prebiotics and probiotics, things like onions, garlic, apples with their peels, kombucha and kimchi. And nobody really likes me when I say this part, but especially for people with any type of autoimmune disorder, it's really remarkable the benefits that you can see if you completely cut out sugar and dairy from your diet. You don't feel like that's quite possible, spend 3 to 4 weeks slowly cutting it out. There's been really amazing reports about autoimmune disorders and cutting out sugar and dairy. And also generally just to not get sick during this busy holiday season. Turmeric, ginger, and green teas, and consider taking a vitamin D supplement. Now, using your medical marijuana card to help boost your immune system, consider adding CBD and THC safely into your daily routine. Of course, we know getting a full night's sleep and getting plenty of rest is very important to prevent getting sick. You don't feel like you're getting enough sleep, talk to one of us about what you can use to help you get a good night's sleep and wake up feeling really refreshed. Using CBD and THC safely, again, to assist your immune system, bring down inflammation. Again, sometimes a low dose, keep it affordable. We don't want it to be too expensive, but doing it consistently and consecutively over time can make a huge difference. So definitely speak to your dispensary staff about some options that would suit you as an individual. All right, topicals. We're going to talk about topicals. We're going to talk about skincare, so the dry skin that happens at this time of year, and also pain with achy joints. So the endocannabinoid system in the skin, there's a fully functioning endocannabinoid system in the different layers of our skin. And really the purpose is to maintain proper and well-balanced skin cells. So controlling the proliferation, that's how often your skin cells divide and basically reproduce. So that's an issue in psoriasis, for example. And then immune competence of our skin cells, right? Our skin is our first line of defense. So we want to keep our skin very healthy and strong. So your skin layers and cell types form a complex multicellular communications network, the proper function of which establish the physiological skin homeostasis. So a lot of the same words, right? Homeostasis, balance, multicellular. The endocannabinoid system is getting your cells to speak more efficiently and quicker with one another. So you're getting a better response time. And CB1 receptors and CB2 receptors are present on our skin cells in the many layers of our skin, nerve fibers, keratinocytes, and mast cells, and even more. So you put all that together, we're going to go back to what the purpose of the endocannabinoid system is that immune response, keeping that inflammation cascade low, maintaining that normal pain threshold, so taking care of any painful or sore sites, and even anti-itch. All right, so talking about, this is another study. I do have this study quoted right here. It's been further illustrated that topical cannabis has anti-inflammatory, anti-itching, analgesic or pain relieving qualities, wound healing, and anti-proliferative effects on the skin. So when you're using cannabis as a topical, whether it's CBD or THC, it will get absorbed into the layers of your skin, but it will not get absorbed into your bloodstream to make that psychoactive effect. So again, we're using it for topical inflammatory conditions, itchy areas, and pain. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more, and that could be joint pain, it could be nerve pain. Now, wound healing is pretty phenomenal that we found at the dispensary, just anecdotal and working with patients. I've had quite a few patients that have come to me for other conditions, and when I'll ask them if they have anything else going on, it could be a diabetic patient. It could be, I've experienced this with cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy, where sometimes we have wounds that just won't close. Applying some of the cannabis oils that come in the syringe. Again, we want you to speak to one of us specifically so we can guide you properly, but applying those cannabis oils right onto the area has promoted pretty great wound healing to the point where doctors have been really impressed with the results. So CBD and THC, again, great as a topical. Also, contact dermatitis, any type of skin inflammation, not to be confused with anything that could be cellulitis. Cellulitis is a serious bacterial infection. It's an irritated skin that will spread with swelling, tenderness, pain. You could get fever and you could have chills. That's something you want to see a doctor about. You know, skin inflammation, it could be an itchy rash, dry, cracked, scaly skin or flaky skin, and could have some swelling or burning. Really great idea to definitely use a topical, and we're going to go over those products soon, but we have different bases. So there's lotions, creams, and coconut oils. And then also in the winter, what happens, right? The water in our skin will evaporate more than during the summer months because of the changes in the levels of humidity. So moisturizing regularly, again, using some of the products from the dispensary is really effective, and drinking plenty of water. Some other conditions that the topicals are good for: diabetic foot care. If anybody has any questions, if anyone is a diabetic, I'd be happy to speak to them tonight about some foot care practices. Psoriasis, psoriatic arthritis is an autoimmune arthritis. It affects the skin and the joints. It is a qualifying condition in Connecticut. And of course, the wound healing that I just mentioned. Now, also talking about pain relief. So patients looking for pain relief, the topicals are really a great source, especially if you don't want to ingest anything orally. So say you are on the go, you're driving a lot, your neck and your back hurts a lot, using a topical can get you some relief without having to ingest anything or have any psychoactive effect. A lot of patients will say they can't really go on such long car rides anymore. So using that topical can be really, really helpful to sitting through a longer car ride. So this is a study that was done because they were looking for how the CB2 receptor helps with pain. So again, it's not in our central nervous system, that's the CB1 receptor. So that's really the perception of the pain. So they were investigating how CB2 receptors work for pain. So their conclusion was that CB2 receptor activation, so when that lock and key go together, you can stop an acute inflammatory or neuropathic pain response without affecting the central nervous system. So this study looked into certain skin cell types, so those the skin cell types that carry CB2 receptors, to find out exactly how CB2 blocks pain. And they did do that on mice. So even applying something topically and connecting to those CB2 receptors, you can find pain relief. And we do see this from the patients at our dispensary quite frequently. Okay, so does anyone have any questions? How's the chat going, Sam?
No questions yet.
Okay, good. I hope that's a good sign.
I do have a question from our RSVP survey.
Okay, great.
Someone was interested in knowing what strain would be best to help treat joint pain from either osteoarthritis or any kind of arthritis flare-up. Will we touch on that when we discuss the certain products?
So we will, but I want to answer a part of that question right now. And I will say that strains, maybe not so much, it doesn't need to be strain specific, but we'll talk about terpenes a little bit. So that's something that if you're having pain, you want to look at the time of day that you want to treat your pain. So maybe it's morning time, your pain is really bad, you want to treat that pain. You might not really want an indica strain because you don't want to be too sleepy. That's going to that's going to kind of put you on the couch. So you don't want to do that. So maybe you would use a different type of a strain, maybe like a sativa dominant hybrid or a straight sativa, and we're going to go over indica-like terpenes. I would also recommend taking CBD, whether it's like in a oral solution or in a tablet, and then maybe using a THC strain on top of that. I think you would get superior pain relief with that combination. So it wouldn't be necessarily strain specific, but it would be, let's do targeted cannabinoid therapy, figure out what your lifestyle is in that time of day, and then go ahead and add to it from there.
Relating to the terpenes, another guest was wondering what are the uplifting cannabis options in terms of being energizing and waking up the brain? Is there a terpene responsible for that too?
Yeah, so I'm going to go over that when I review the products, but definitely looking for, if you're looking for focus, patients come back and say that the pinene are really helpful. And patients have also come back and said that limonene is really joyous and uplifting. Okay, so nerve and arthritic pain. So they're two very different types of pain. And sorry, my cats are just doing something. Okay, nerve and arthritic type of pain. So studies again have shown that the CB2 receptor activation inhibits acute inflammatory and neuropathic pain. For pain, when you use the topical, I will often recommend patients to apply that product to the affected area up to 4 to 5 times per day for maximum benefit. So you might use a topical and then 2 hours later, the pain might come back. It's okay to go ahead and add a little bit more. And I do like to use a combination of products, which we're going to get to as well. So using the already made topical products, we've also taught patients at the dispensary who are looking for something a little bit more potent to use the cannabis oils in the syringes, whether it's a combination of CBD and THC or THC only, to either to add it to their own coconut oil base or their own cream base, maybe if they're looking for something a little bit more potent. So we've guided many patients on how to do that very effectively. And of course, putting the cannabis oils directly onto the area, maybe with a little coconut oil, spread it around, wrapping it in saran wrap for even, working with patients after a knee replacement surgery, for example. If you're struggling with physical therapy afterwards, and you don't want to be disoriented, maybe you don't have a THC tolerance, but you need a little bit more help to get through those exercises, well, it's a great idea I had a patient do this exactly, the 1-to-1 oral syringe from CT Pharma, apply a little bit of coconut oil in her hand and some of the cannabis oil, rubbing it on her knee, wrapping it in saran wrap, and having a really productive physical therapy. And so using the topicals, patients, whether it's nerve or arthritic pain, have reported being able to enjoy longer walks, to again take longer car rides, maybe walking your dog a little bit longer, and being able to exercise more or stretch more deeply. Achy joints. All right, so the cold air actually makes the fluid inside our joints thicker, so they feel stiffer. Tendons, muscles, and scar tissue expand and contract with humidity levels. So again, we keep talking about humidity levels in the winter, and that causes pain. And also inactivity can make us sore, right? We sometimes settle down a little bit in the winter. For non-psychoactive relief, please speak to myself or your dispensary pharmacist about adding CBD into your daily routine. And many patients come to us to prepare for post-operative pain management. So we do provide additional consults for all of our patients at no charge. If you have a change in diagnosis, a change in medications, or an upcoming surgery, we'd love to talk to you to help you plan how you're going to recover from that. And patients using a combination of delivery systems report great outcomes when dealing with joint pain. Okay, achy joints and skincare product review. All right, let me figure out how to get here. 1 second. Oh, hi, Glenn, you made it. Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay, good stuff.
I blew out of that meeting because I
Did
wanted to
you?
come, because I did want to come here. Yeah, absolutely. I told them, I said, I got a meeting to go to. They said, okay, go.
Okay, good stuff.
Right, you took priority.
Thanks, Glenn. I appreciate it. Okay, so this is the menu for the Botanist Danbury. All our menus pretty much look the same. If anyone has any specific questions, please reach out in the chat. So if you go over here on the left under categories, we're actually going to start with topicals. Okay, now the topicals are going to be good for skin care, so that dry flaky skin or any type of skin irritation, and also for pain. So I'm going to click all here. I'm going to focus on a couple of products. So I do find that CBD and THC seem to be equally effective for a lot of patients when using it topically. So we do have all THC, and then we do have combination products. So the first product I want to show you is a cannabidiol I 1-to-1 coconut oil. The I stands for the strain. 1-to-1 means it's equal parts CBD and equal parts THC. So this particular product has 100 milligrams of CBD and 100 milligrams of THC in 3.21 ounces. If you like coconut oil, you're looking for that moisturizing effect from it, this is a great product to use, again, for pain and for that moisturizing effect. Now this is a cream base. So cream, you're looking at something that's less greasy than a coconut oil. I know some patients will say they don't want the coconut oil to ruin their clothes or it stays greasy for too long. So a cream is a great option. Now look at the potency on this product. It's 352 milligrams of CBD and 102 milligrams of THC in 50 mLs. I'm really pleased with the results that I'm seeing from this product. So if you do have achy joints, pain in the neck, or anywhere else, this is a really great option. And again, you can use it a couple of times a day to help with the pain and the aches. And if you like that Bengay or eucalyptus type of a feel, another really popular product is the Men's, and that's equal parts CBD and THC. They call it a cooling body balm. It's not good for any conditions with the hands because of that menthol feel. You really can't touch your eyes or your nose. So definitely good for other parts of the body. This is a 3.5-ounce jar with 100 milligrams of CBD and 100 milligrams of THC. Now, with the achy joints, if you are looking to add CBD only to your routine because maybe you have a very active lifestyle and you don't have quite a tolerance to THC, I want to show you some of the CBD only products that we carry. So starting off in the capsules and tablets section under edibles, CT Pharma makes a line of CBD only products. So if you can see my cursor, I'm going to circle it over here. It comes in different milligrams. So we've got the C10 chewables, 10 milligrams of CBD per tablet, 100, 40, and 5. And then we have they make the soft gels in the 16 milligrams. This is a great option to use consistently and consecutively to see if you can get that relief, decrease that inflammation, get a little bit of mobility back, and generally feel better with the aching in your joints. So that's a great product for CBD only. And there's also oral solutions. What I also like about oral solutions is that it's really easy to, I'm actually going to go under sublingual over here and choose all. Sometimes what's nice about oral solutions is that you can change your dose day to day, or if you're having a particular bad day, it's okay to take a little bit more. It's easy to take a little bit more from a dropper bottle. So that's something to consider when you're trying to choose your delivery system. Generally, with sublinguals, we recommend that you hold it in your mouth for 90 seconds before swallowing it, allowing it to absorb from the capillaries in your mouth directly to your bloodstream. It should take effect in about 20 to 35 minutes and last anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. When you swallow it, it could take up to 2 hours before it kicks in. So the CBD high potency drops right here from CT Pharma, 787 milligrams of high quality CBD in 15 mLs. I believe 1 ml is just about 50 milligrams of CBD. They also make a low dose CBD oral spray. This is dissolved in alcohol, just so you know if you have any issues with that. And each spray delivers 3 milligrams of CBD. So that's nice. That's nice if you're looking for that nice low dose. So those are some CBD only options. Again, I found that patients who use that combination of CBD, maybe in an oral solution or a tablet, plus a topical, that's a really people report really good results with that. Any questions on that?
We just had one question about reducing inflammation for both day and night, if you have any product recommendations.
Okay, absolutely. I'm actually going to get into that in more detail, so I'm glad that you asked that question. So decreasing inflammation with cannabis, it's kind of an idea of like, what's the dosage? So smoking and vaping is only going to get you so far from what I've learned from feedback from patients, but really taking something that you can measure in milligrams, I find to be really advantageous. So depending on your tolerance, maybe just 5 milligrams of THC every night at bedtime, where even if you require more than that, so maybe you also need to smoke or vape to fall asleep, adding that 5 milligrams at bedtime and keep letting that work in your body. If you are looking to avoid too much psychoactive effect during the day, if you do that 5 milligrams at night and you do that every day, maybe 10 days, 14 days, or continuously, you'll see a decrease in your inflammation. Depending on what other medications you're taking and on the severity of your disease state, maybe we'll titrate you up to get a higher dose. And then you can balance out with CBD during the day, so you have relief during the day as well. So that's kind of the idea that I would be going for. Anywhere from like 40 to 60 milligrams of cannabinoids a day. That could be CBD, THCA, or THC. If you spread it out throughout the day to find relief, I think that that's a pretty good recipe for decreasing inflammation, just from what I've seen in my own experience. I hope that answered the question.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to ask you, so you're saying that the 40 milligrams per day would be the maximum?
It's absolutely not a maximum. It's a
Okay.
suggested daily. Some people will do great with 10 to 20. And
Okay.
again, it's kind of the idea of what your goal is. Are you going for the marathon or are you going for the sprint? So patients who've worked with me, they know that this is something that I'll go over with them. So decreasing inflammation, you don't need such a high dose to decrease the inflammation as you might need to treat your pain. So you can kind of have a standard daily dose that you take and then use other products for your immediate symptoms to find relief. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
You know that the results that I'm getting now are absolutely incredible.
That's wonderful, Glenn.
I'm doing really well. It's
You
awesome.
are.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're
Oh.
welcome. You're welcome. So seasonal affective disorder, what is it? It's really the winter months start approaching, and do they seem chill and cold and dreary rather than maybe a chance to be cozy and snuggly and a good chance to just reconnect? You know, it's interesting that in many cultures, winter is the time to slow down, but with the holidays, we tend to get busier. So how do we combat this? Well, we can certainly set boundaries and make choices for ourselves, but we also we're going to be participating and we want to participate, right? In the joy that's around us. But how can we do that stress-free, pain-free, and without really getting down in the dumps? So some of us, seasonal affective disorder or the winter blues, symptoms can begin as early as August. For some people, it starts as late as after Christmas. It actually affects women 4 times more than men. And there's estimated 14 million Americans who suffer from seasonal affective disorder, and up to 14% of us deal with the winter blues. So really, seasonal affective disorder is a more extreme version of the winter blues, where maybe you're having some trouble functioning or completing your tasks at work or at home, or your relationships with your loved ones are being affected, and even our relationship with ourselves, right? So what are some of the symptoms to the winter blues or seasonal affective disorder? Reduced energy, feeling lazy and listless, that fatigue that kicks in, having trouble focusing on tasks, not feeling very motivated, not feeling as creative or as passionate as we usually are. Cravings, increased eating carbohydrates, and it really makes you feel like you feel better for a little while and then you feel worse. Metabolism also slows down, and we're going to talk about why. And then you might put on some weight. Disturbed sleep, maybe you're sleeping too much, you're not sleeping enough. Lowered sex drive, difficulty concentrating, difficulty processing information, and also mood issues. And if you don't feel these things in the spring or the summer, yeah, it could be SAD or winter blues. So what's causing it? So it's really a lack of sunlight that is going to affect our natural biological clock. Our serotonin levels may drop. The theory that serotonin contributes to depression or how happy we are, then if reduced sunlight does decrease our serotonin, then one would expect for us to feel more depressed. Melatonin, which does not only just make us sleepy or not sleepy, it really does a lot more for us than just that. It affects our mood, our sex drive, and also how much we eat. So with that reduced sunlight, it affects our melatonin levels, and that affects our circadian rhythm. So we don't really we feel sleepy too often. And then, so again, the decrease in sunlight disrupts our body's internal clock and can lead to feelings of depression. I know I sat outside for a little while today in the sun. I bundled up. I was trying to get some sunlight in. So even doing something as simple as that for 20 minutes a day can really make a huge difference. And also getting a sun lamp, which we're going to talk about at the end. They've actually done research and studies, and that sun lamps have really, really turned things around for people. And you can get one easily off of Amazon nowadays. There's different types of light and things like that. So if you feel like you're dealing with the winter blues or seasonal affective disorder, you have a pen or paper, before we get into some products, I kind of want you guys to list out where you're at with what you're looking for and what your own personal goals are. So are you looking for a psychoactive effect? Maybe you are. Maybe you're only looking for it in the evening. Maybe you're only looking for that on the weekends, but we still want you to feel better on the weekdays when you're not using THC. So again, using the program properly, this is why this is really the main reason why I like to have these programs, is that there's so many more options that we first thought with medical marijuana. There's so much potential to this plant for healing. If we can kind of work with you to figure out how to use it best. So assessing your cannabis tolerance and your lifestyle is really important. So again, we're going to talk about it a little later, but how much are you driving? Are you taking care of small children? Do you already take CBD daily and you still feel like you have the winter blues? That's something that I would want to know. And maybe you feel like you're sleeping too much and you're still tired, but you're not getting proper sleep. So you're not getting that deep and really restful or nourishing sleep. So maybe adding a longer acting delivery system of THC or CBN at night can give you a deeper sleep so you wake up feeling refreshed and not just waking up and feeling like you need to sleep more. So that's something that we work with patients and we see that turnaround quite well. And are you aware of your triggers when we talking about PTSD, depression, anxiety, flashbacks, intrusive thoughts? Are you aware of your triggers or what could be triggering you around this time of year? Might not only be the sunlight. So that's important to recognize. And then you can plan around it. So perhaps you're attending a holiday function and maybe somebody's there that might trigger you. Maybe you have to drive through a certain area of town that might trigger you. Knowing that that's going to happen when you plan your day, and then using the right tools in your toolbox of your cannabis medications and pulling out the right one before you have to deal with that trigger, just preparing yourself for success. So cannabis tolerance and lifestyle. Maybe you're new to cannabis. Maybe you're hesitant to explore THC. Maybe you've been using cannabis and THC for years and you're very comfortable with its effects. Maybe you don't drive during the day at all, and maybe you drive a lot all day. So look at your lifestyle and think about where we can add maybe some new cannabinoids like a CBD or a non-psychoactive cannabinoid, or maybe THC will be new to you and you've been using only CBD, and how we can incorporate this together so you can get a better result. So many patients report that taking CBD daily has given them great relief from symptoms such as depression, fatigue, because really the driving force behind fatigue is inflammation, anxiety, migraines, achy joints, and back pain. There was a study done years ago, really changed how we practice medical cannabis at the dispensary, in that taking CBD consistently and consecutively, we have better outcomes than just using it as needed. And then again, you can use a lower dose. It's more affordable and do it over time. So please speak to your pharmacist about CBD only options. Insomnia. Yeah, some of us might be sleeping too much with the winter blues. Some of us are not sleeping enough. What is causing you to stay up? So I think it was September, we did insomnia and terpenes for our Canna Convo. We really worked together to make this list of what's keeping us up. Is it physical pain? Is it racing thoughts? Is it that you fall asleep great, but then once you wake up at 2 or 3 a.m., you can't go back to sleep? What's going on at 2 or 3 a.m.? Are you mad that you can't sleep? Well, that's not going to help you fall asleep. Are your thoughts racing, running a million miles a minute? Or are you in a lot of pain? Is it shooting pain? Is it throbbing pain? And then are you waking up tired and dreading the day? So that's going to tell me if you're waking up tired and dreading the day, maybe something as soon as you wake up in the morning to get you started off on the right foot. And if you're falling asleep well, but you're not sleeping through the night, a longer acting delivery system like a tablet or a capsule or an edible or baked good. Pain, again, combining those topicals. I have patients who wake up in the middle of the night from pain. We choose the correct vape that's suitable for them. They take a few hits off of their vape, maybe apply a topical to the area that's really painful, and then after a little bit, be able to fall back asleep, which is really nice. All right, so here are some options to combine your cannabis routine with some self-care. So I'm going to be going over some more products now. This is where we're going to be taking that deeper dive into the product review. And then if anybody did save time tonight, because tomorrow is double points day, if anybody wants to talk to me or to Sam about something more specific for them as individuals, we're hanging on tonight to be able to do that for you guys. And then we can take it from there. All right, so maybe a sativa spray, sit in the sun and spend some time smiling and reflecting, using a topical to go for deeper stretches and breathe. I always say, you know, a lot of times we can't control the things around us, but we can always control our breath. And that's a great way to bring us back to feeling regulated. Combining CBD and yoga, right? You get that mental stillness, you get the physical relief, and then some mantras on to love yourself. I am strong. I can do this today. I'm a warrior. These are great things to tell yourself, to pick yourself back up. Maybe you like to smoke. You can smoke a little bit and work on your gratitude journal and turn that anxiety into positivity. And then maybe vaping in the morning. We're going to talk about some really nice vapes, using the sun lamp, focusing in on yourself and achieving something that feels close to something like serenity. All right, how's everybody doing while I switch screens again to go into the menu?
You've been very informative. Thank you.
Thanks.
I understand better.
Brilliant.
What was that?
Brilliant.
Thank you. Okay, Winter Blues product review.
Definitely enjoying it.
Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, so there are some vapes that I chose ahead of time, some products that I chose ahead of time that I'm going to review today. If anybody has a product that they have any questions about, that they want me to review, drop it in the chat and Sam will let me know. All right, so with the winter blues, you're feeling down and out, you're having trouble with motivation and getting moving. Let's focus on some sativa products that I got a little excited about this week. Okay, so we're going to start with vapes. So now with the vapes, you're going to see some differences in the prices. That's because of the size. So there's 1 gram vapes, half gram vapes, and then TheraPlant that does their vapes a little bit different. They really go for the milligrams of THC. So the 350 milligrams is the way they standardize. It's not by 1/2 gram or 1 gram. So that's why those look a little different, and they won't appear full. Just so you guys know that, because it's not a 1/2 gram of oil. So Tatonate is the East Coast Sour Diesel strain, and I differentiate. So I separate sativas into like, you know, do you want to clean your house, mow your lawn, or go dancing all night, or do you want like a Zen type of a happy, like a simple calming happy? Because you can get that specific. When you call your pharmacist on the phone or when you stop in at the counter and you're looking for product advice, really tell us how you want to feel and what delivery system you want to use. So maybe instead of, you know, a lot of patients will say, you know, I need a sativa. Well, I'm going to have like 5 questions for you. Okay. One of them is going to be, yeah, do you want to paint your whole house? Do you want to clean out your whole kitchen? Or do you just kind of want to be calm and happy? Those are 2 very different things. And that really is going to be based on strain. So it's going to be based on strain, of course, as well as the terpenes. I know a lot of people have questions about strains and terpenes. I'm going to try to keep incorporating that into how I'm explaining these products. So diesels tend to be like that chill, happy feeling. And let's look at the potency. So when we did the Cannabis 101 vapes, it did talk about how vapes and flower, we're looking at THC potency in percentage. So this one is about 82% THC, has a little bit of CBG and CBN in there too. So what that would tell me with that little bit of CBN might be good for that calming effect, okay? So combining the idea of the diesel, which is a chill, happy, it's got some CBN and CBG in there, and then it has a fair amount of beta-myrcene and linalool. Patients come back and tell us that beta-myrcene is really great for body pain, really great for muscle relaxation. Patients tell us that linalool is really good for anxiety and feeling calm. But then it's balanced out with what we would consider more energizing terpenes like that 0.3 alpha pinene and then 0.3 limonene, which I had mentioned earlier, patients say really is great for that joy or that euphoria and like feeling happy. So I feel like if you're dealing with anxiety and you're dealing with some nervousness and you are looking for a sativa and a little pick-me-up for the day, I think this would be a great choice to use with your sun lamp and your gratitude journal. And again, you can always control your dosing by how long you inhale for and how many inhalations you take. So you might want to do a 1 second pull, and you might want to do a couple of pulls that are a couple of seconds each, but you have that control. Okay, so the indica one that I wanted to show you guys today is the Indicol Select Blends from Advanced Grow Labs. This is a 0.5 gram cartridge. This is where they take a bunch of their indica strains and they blend it together. So exactly how it sounds. This particular one is about 79% THC. And looking at the terpenes on this one, the reason why I chose this one is because it has 0.61% limonene, and then it has some really nice linalool, myrcene, and caryophyllene. So what I would say is this could be a great vape to use starting around dinner time. Some gentle pulls, putting you in a good mood, getting your body nice and relaxed, and then eventually drifting off to sleep when you use it closer to bedtime. So I see a lot of euphoria in this one, calming effect, and a really nice chill vibe. Tanya, are there any questions from the RSVP email list that I could answer right now while I fiddle around with all of this?
Yeah. How do you best help itchy skin?
Okay, so that's a great question. So, because I learned something new recently at the Eastern Connecticut State University Cannabis Conference. So I've worked with some patients who, they have a long list of symptoms. The last thing that they want to mention is also my skin is itchy all the time. And I try to go for, the main symptoms first. And that's usually targeted cannabinoid therapy with multiple delivery systems. So you're really medicating from the moment you wake up till the time that you go to sleep. And it could be, CBD, non-psychoactive during the day, and maybe more psychoactive products in the evening and at night. And using that for a few weeks, whether it's severe anxiety, severe PTSD, or even pain. And they have come back and told me this has happened with 3 patients that their skin stopped itching, their skin got better, and they were using topicals as well. And then what I learned is that that is actually a centrally acting response, which means that that itch response is coming from your central nervous system. It's not just a topical reaction, and using the cannabinoids in that way, in using them in milligrams and delivery systems that you ingest can actually control the itching. So they did a test on some mice and they had some pretty cool results.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. So for CBD strains for vapes at this time, I think we have 1-to-1s. This is the Bianca strain from Curaleaf. It's 44% THC, 43% CBD, and also has a nice terpene profile. So this would be great for pain. Patients say the beta-caryophyllene is a really good pain reliever. It has some really strong anti-inflammatory type terpenes in there, the humulene. So this is a great choice if you're looking for less of a psychoactive effect than an all THC vape. I really invite you to try some CBD if you haven't yet. I do find that patients who use all THC they get a lot better and then they plateau. Same thing with patients who use all CBD, they get a lot better and then they plateau. And it's really that combination that I think really takes patients the rest of the way. With CBD, it is a completely different feeling than THC. So I say pay attention to what you do not feel, not what you do feel. Your shoulders come out of your ears, your jaw finally gets unclenched, and you can take that deep breath and exhale. but you're not high and you're not disoriented. If you have intrusive thoughts, or if you feel like your mind is always going, a lot of patients, so many patients, hundreds of patients have come back and told me over the years that all just quiets down. And the way THC very much makes you feel like you're just living in the moment, you're not worried about the past or the future, CBD does that as well, just without that euphoria. So I feel like CBD can bring you to a point of stillness, and then you choose what you want to fill up that space with. So I think that's nice. So definitely I invite you to try it. Just manage your expectations for sure. If you're used to all THC products, it will be very different. So a sativa flower. Does anybody have any favorites or anything that they got this week or last week that they want to share or they want to talk about?
I can say a few words about the CT Pharma RSO oil.
Oh yeah, you just tried that last week, right?
Yeah,
Glenn?
I've been on it now. It was a little hard to get, but I've stocked up a little bit on it. It is fantastic. It really is. And they just, they give you the little capsules, the free gelatin capsules, so that you can, make it whatever size you want. I'm using about the size of a grain of rice. It's that.
Okay,
It's that
yeah.
potent.
Yeah, so the product that
Works
Glenn
great.
is talking about.
It's awesome. It's just that it's hard to come by at my dispensary. There you go.
Okay, yeah, so this is the Summit CBD RSO. This is a full plant extract, high CBD cannabis oil. So if you see here, this particular one, let me click on the label so you guys can see it. It has 743 milligrams of CBD and only 44 milligrams of THC in 1 ml. It is sticky, does have a metallic taste. The dispenser, it can be a little bit difficult to work with. So if you have severe arthritis in your hands or any issues like that, might not be the best product for you. But otherwise, this is a very, very versatile product. Again, you can change it into topicals by mixing it with coconut oil. You can also ingest it directly into your mouth. I would recommend putting it on your gum line, or you can put it in an empty capsule and swallow it. And that is a great, great choice. Okay, so looking at flower, there's a high, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that it was a game changer for me.
That's good stuff. You started with the HH Red, right? And then you tried the Summit?
Yes, I did. I still have that also during the day in case I just need a little kick of energy and I don't really want to get, I've got tasks and things at hand. But, I was going to write to you. My first stage of my cancer report for today was outstanding.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
oh, Glenn, congratulations. Let's all congratulate Glenn.
Thank you. And I'm just waiting for the bigger numbers to come through. So, and I really think it's a CBG in this product and other things that are in the product. So for Christmas, I bought my oncologist a bottle of the Upstate CBG full spectrum. I bought it for my oncologist for Christmas. I got to give it to him on the 20th because I want him to believe that the CBD and the CBG and the CBDA, I think it is, has impacted my actual numbers, my cancer numbers, down 40%.
Holy crap.
So if we can get more,
absolutely fantastic.
if I announce that now, everybody's going to go run out and get it. So you better grab it while you can. You better grab it while you can, because that stuff is like worth its weight in gold. It's great. It really changed my profile. They want to do. I want to talk to you more. This is your show. So, but I want to say that.
I want everyone to share. That's why I was saying tonight I definitely left some time. Yeah. Definitely wanted us to, I believe in the cannabis community. It's so important for us to be there for each other. And so I'm loving this. So tonight I really, and especially before the holidays, I think I kind of needed to. I want to hear from you guys. Glenn and I started working together, I think, after one of the Canna Convos. I'm not sure which one, maybe Insomnia and Terpenes, maybe it was. And so we've been working together over the past couple of months, and I'm just so tremendously pleased with Glenn's outcome.
Yeah, so my doctors, doctors are scratching their head, and I said, it's a simple equation. There's nothing I've changed in the last 6 months other than taking these supplements. There's nothing that I've changed. So, you got to believe in something, you can't write it off. So, fabulous. Yeah, really happy about it. I'm looking forward to a great holiday, and it's awesome.
That's great. That's
So
great. I see
everybody run out
somebody
and
with
get it.
somebody with their hand raised.
Yeah, that's me. It's Dwight and Scott.
Hey, what's up? How are
Hey,
you?
all right. The Taffica strain. I know it's not a sativa, but I think it was Taffica. I forget what percentage, but we bought it like 3 times in a row. It was good. We really liked it. And
Okay.
also, and could you do me a favor? I don't know. We gotta do DoorDash driving in a few minutes. Are you able to send that link so he gets credit for being here?
Absolutely. Tanya, can you post the link, please?
Thank you very much.
I'm on it. Just posted.
Awesome.
Okay, good stuff. Yeah, thank you for joining tonight.
Oh, I don't see it. Oh, there it is. It popped up. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. No problem. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. We'll be in at the next one. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, does anyone have any specific questions?
Oh no.
What happened?
I just clicked on the link and I thought I lost you, but I didn't.
Okay, let's get
I
back.
have some specific questions about what I take. I
Perfect.
don't know if you're going to do that after everybody drops off or how you're going to do that.
I was going to just go through a few more products on the menu and then I was going to do that.
Okay.
Do you want to? But okay, cool. Okay, yeah, as long as you're not going to like forget your question. So I was kind of excited about the Hybrid BC strain that came out this week, and I'm going to tell you why. And the Hybrid FG is really good too. I think this was it. I think there was a newer one that came out. All right, well, let's look at the indica flowers first. And if anyone wants to pop in the chat, any of their favorite indica flowers that they've been using. So let's look here at this Lunavin flower, 39% THC. Just in the fact that there's so much THC in itself, it's going to be sleepy. It's an indica, but a lot of patients have really been enjoying this one and coming back and saying it was really beneficial for helping them sleep. And then the sativa flower. All right, so the Aniva is the Colorado Flow. That's an example of a really kind of what I would call racy sativa that's going to make you want to get up and clean your house. So be completely prepared, understanding that that's what this type of strain is if you were to choose to use it. If you have any type of anxiety, or if you ever do get anxiety from THC, I wouldn't recommend this strain. But if you're have a good tolerance and you do react really well, this is a great choice for getting up and getting moving and getting going. And then a more gentle type of that kind of Zen happy sativa I was talking about in flower. I do prefer the hazes. It's nice because there's almost always a haze around, so that's nice. The Sat A is a haze that's from AGL, as well as the Sunlight flower from Curaleaf is a haze. And now I wanted to show you guys some sprays. All right, so the sativa spray, Sativerin sublingual spray, there is a touch of alcohol in this one, and it yields 7 milligrams of THC from a sativa blend per spray. So if that's the right dose for you, if you're not sure what the right dose is, definitely speak to someone at your dispensary, or you can ask me. I'm just wrapping up now, and we can talk about it. And that's something to get that little psychoactive effect, you get that medicated feeling, and it gives you that pep in your step. So the sativa spray is a good option. We do also have, if you're looking for sativa in an oral solution, but you want a lower dose, than 7 milligrams, we would recommend something like this, which is a sativa blend, and maybe start off with like 2 to 3 teeny tiny drops, and then taking it, increasing it from there, but just starting off at a low dose. So that's a good option. Go through my product list here. And if you're looking for a sativa in a tablet, like maybe like a chewable tablet, CT Pharma makes 2.5 milligrams. What's nice is the low dose, because sometimes you're just looking to feel better and keep going and not be like too disoriented. So that's something to consider with the low doses. It's almost like the first time you drink a cup of coffee, you feel really good and you feel really energized and focused, but you're not necessarily disoriented. So that's this product here, T2.5S chewable microdose tablets, and you can chew and swallow them. Each tablet contains 2.5 milligrams. I believe this is the lemon skunk strain. So it's made from the Lexican strain. And then there's also sativa tablets in other sizes and other potencies. The micro tablets are 5 milligrams from AGL, and these are 20 milligrams each. And then we also have capsules, 5 milligrams from, and that's oil inside, 30 milligrams, 100 milligrams, and 50 milligrams from TheraPlant. Just a few more products that I think will be helpful. We also have honey. I think that's a really nice idea to use, whether it is a sativa honey or the CBD 1-to-1 honey. We spoke about making tea last month, but you know, making that nice cup of tea for yourself, setting that intention that you're going to be taking care of yourself and you're going to spend some time for you. And maybe that's a good time to use your gratitude journal, write in your regular journal, or do some mindfulness practices. Again, I really feel that combining cannabis with self-care, really, I see patients come such a long way. Oh, and we did the creams and the coconut oils already. An example also when we were talking about topicals, I'm not sure if I showed it before. What I have found working with patients quite a bit with topicals, the 1-to-1 oral syringe from CT Pharma is really great. I don't see it at this time. And it's also diluted a little bit, so it makes it easier to work with. But it's the 1-to-1 oral syringe. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. And great. Okay, so let's do some questions and answers, and whatever you guys need.
I was a little late to the party. Did you talk about what is good for joint pain?
I did. So what I recommend,
it for me.
What was that? There was some feedback.
Could you repeat it for me?
I
please?
absolutely can. I absolutely can. So I feel like I can hear myself in someone's, or I'm getting some feedback from somewhere. Can everyone put themselves on mute? Let me see if that's better. No, I can hear my feedback somewhere. Okay, I'm going to try to ignore it and keep going. Okay, so I do find that a combination of delivery systems and using what we call targeted cannabinoid therapy is really beneficial. So depending on, why don't you tell me if you want to take yourself off of mute so we can talk about it real quick. Talk to me about your achy joints, what times of day they hurt the most, and even what are they preventing you from doing during the day that you wish you could do, even if that just means like mentally not thinking about your pain.
I would say the worst time is sometimes first thing in the morning. I'm very stiff. I have MS and fibromyalgia, and so I'm very stiff first thing in the morning, and then later on in the day, like after working and running around doing errands, things like that.
Okay, so yeah, so it's the stiffness in the morning. It probably takes you a little while to get up and get moving, and once you get moving, you feel a little bit better, and you power through your day, and then at the end of the day, it all kind of falls on you.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So honestly, the first thing that I'm going to recommend is using something at night so you can wake up feeling a little bit better with your muscles relaxed and not as stiff. And that could be something like a 5 milligram Indoti capsule from Theraplant. What do you take right now at night to sleep? Do you take anything at night, Patty? You can put it in the chat if you want, if you feel comfortable. Otherwise, I would say starting off with 5 milligram capsule or something in an oral solution. Take it right before you go to sleep. So when you wake up, your muscles are a little bit better. And then using a CBD product as soon as you get up in the morning, plus a topical. So using a topical before you go to bed, if you get up at night, applying it again, you'll wake up feeling a lot better. Using the topical multiple times a day. And then we should talk about what CBD product would be good for you to help with that inflammation, pain, and stiffness during the day while you're working and you're out and about and really busy. Again, CBD knows how to act.
Okay.
That's what I think you should do.
Yeah, one of the topicals I used, it does seem to work pretty good. It's like a temporary fix anyway, if something's really bothering me a lot. I actually take a Xanax to sleep at night, which doesn't always work. I mean, it's one of those things that you were talking about where, yeah, I can fall asleep from that. But if I wake up at some point due to pain, sometimes it just takes rolling over to wake me up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then I'm awake, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It'd be the yappy dog up above me.
It's a blessing.
But this one likes to yap. He woke me
Yeah.
up very early this morning.
Okay. Do you
yeah,
vape, Patty?
I like Haunt Rica. I don't
Okay.
I don't know how much. I'm not that great at, I just like pick things and try them. That's why I really started listening to you, and these talks I think are great. I'm learning a lot, you know, about it. I do talk to the girls where I go to the dispensary, and they're very helpful, but a lot of times they're busy, and I hate to like bug that. They would never say I'm bugging them. They wouldn't, but I feel like I'm holding them up. I'm like, you know, I'm like, oh, you got a room full of people waiting. I'll talk to you about it next time.
Patty,
So
what dispensary do you go to?
I go to Montville.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be happy, and Tanya can work with you afterwards to schedule a consultation. We do them over the phone with a pharmacist from Montville. And what I'm going to recommend right now, you can kind of hone out the details with your pharmacist when they go over your medication list and your cannabis tolerance, is to add an edible, whether it's a tablet, capsule, or baked good of THC at night. And adding some CBD as soon as you get up in the morning, and using that CBD product again mid-morning or afternoon. And if you vape, I would suggest keeping that vape next to your bed, as long as you don't have any small children, that when you get up in the middle of the night, you maybe take 1 or 2 hits, roll over, go back to sleep. Again, you'll be waking up feeling so much better and so much less stiff. And then using the topical, one thing that I also was stating when we were talking about the achy joints is using the topical up to 4 to 5 times a day. Makes a really big difference. And then you'll be completely covered. You'll be covered from morning to when you go to sleep, and to help you stay asleep.
What edible do you recommend?
I mean, I think that our safest way to start is 5 milligrams of THC at bedtime. The best way to achieve that is using the 5 milligram capsules or the 5 milligram micro tablet. Indica.
All right.
And then you can, you know, if that doesn't do anything, then after a few nights, you can maybe take 2. After doing 2 for a few nights, maybe take 3 until you get to where you want to be.
Okay, great. Yeah, because I would really like to get off the Xanax. It doesn't really work that much. So
Yeah. And you want to be careful with that, depending on how long you've been taking it. So definitely we should make sure that we get you an appointment scheduled over in Montville.
Yeah, that would be great. That would really be great. I appreciate it. Anyway, thank you. I'll let somebody else talk now.
All right. Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a question. Would the CBD transdermal cream be a good replacement for the CBD coconut oil? Yeah, absolutely. Remember, we were explaining the differences between those 2 products. The CBD transdermal cream from Theraplant is more potent. in cannabinoids, but again, it's a different delivery system. So figuring if you like coconut oil better or cream better might play a part into individual preference. But I am familiar with Charles, so I think, yeah, that would be great. Go ahead and using that cream. Okay. Angie said, I'm with Patty. I wasn't sure what you meant. Did you want to share?
I have a question.
Mhm.
Okay, so I use the products for chronic insomnia. And sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and like around 2:30, and I'm afraid to hit the vape because I don't want to have it. I don't want to feel any effects when I get up and I'm having to go to work. So I'm not sure how many pulls I can, and I know everyone's different, and I know that the length of the pull or how long you keep it, how is it just the length of the pull, or is it how long you
it's also how long you
keep
inhale
it in?
it. Yeah, it's how long you
Right.
keep it in. You don't need to keep it in long, and you don't need to
Right.
pull on these vapes really hard. They're
Right.
really, really well made. So I'm going to tell you an interesting story. I was working with a patient, I would say this was like August, September, for severe anxiety and perseveration. And I think I mentioned this story on another Can of Convo. And she was taking a couple of different prescription medications to sleep and still wasn't sleeping. And at times I'll do this with a complicated case, is that I was like, let's just deal with one symptom first. We're just going to deal with the daytime anxiety and the perseveration. I'm not going to really, I didn't really want to introduce too many new medications into her regimen at once. And so she was doing her just individual specific case was the HH Red, which is the 20-to-1 CBD to THC during the day. She was using it 3 times a day. And she was sleeping through the night, even though we didn't give her anything to treat her nighttime medication. So my question for you is, are you using anything during the day to help with your symptoms? Because what happens with insomnia then is that we get insomnia avoidance behavior. We start avoiding like our bedtime routine because we're so worried or stressed out that we're not going to sleep. Around dinner time, we make our anxiety even worse because we think we're going to have another night of not being able to sleep. So my question, after just telling you a little bit of background, is, are you taking anything during the day for your symptoms?
No, I'm not. I think it's a hybrid. It doesn't really say. They're gummies. I was doing a half a gummy, say in the morning, and then the other half later on during the day. And I felt okay. The anxiety wasn't there. But then I felt like I get nervous about building up a tolerance because
Was
of
that
what
a
I'm thinking
THC
at
gummy?
night. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can't really build up a tolerance to CBD. And I'm wondering if you maybe use CBD one time in the day, continue with your gummy, or maybe just use the gummy instead of twice a day, one a day. I guess maybe you got that from Massachusetts or somewhere. You don't have to tell me. We don't have gummies in the program.
Yeah.
And then maybe consider, if you're a patient at one of our dispensaries, seeing if we can get you something with more specific information. Massachusetts and other states, they don't have as much information on their labeling. They're not required. So that's why we can be so specific with a lot of our products, is because the labels are so specific. So us as pharmacists, we know exactly what's in them. So with that hybrid is a very general term.
Right.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
probably could do a little bit better for yourself, is what I'm thinking. And with the vaping at night, you just try to do that 1 second pull to fall back asleep, or maybe something stronger at the time when you do want to go to sleep.
Right. So, I mean, I do. It really is just a whole nighttime routine. There's, the clock ticks and okay, now I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to take some of this, so, I mean, I've switched from the micro tablets to the capsules, the T10 capsules. And I like those. So I'm taking, because I was up to, I was only taking 2 of the 5 mgs, but now I'm doing the 10 meg of the, the capsule. I'm doing a 5 milligram gummy. I think it's Hunter Procure, the vape. If I need flour, then I'll smoke flour right before I go to sleep. And
Writing it down.
melatonin as well, 10 milligrams
Okay.
of melatonin.
All right.
So
Yeah,
it's a
I think
plethora of things
it
going
is.
on.
It is. So I think like maybe a combination of if it's anxiety, that's what's going on like during the day, or even if it's chronic inflammation and a lot of pain. I think we should start helping you during the day so your body's not as wired at the end of the day and it's not so difficult to wind down. How does that sound?
Sounds right. Sounds good.
Sounds right,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it sounds good. Absolutely. And then I would say, appropriate product around dinner time to get you to chill out a little bit. Have you ever tried the Hybridol 5-to-1 CBN tablets? So
No, I haven't.
I
Not
think
from
that might be a good idea for you. It's a combination of CBN and THC. And there's also CBN chewable tablets from CT Pharma. So CBN is another cannabinoid. It's a little different from THC and CBD, where I think that it's best described as, like, instead of getting high and falling asleep, you just get tired and fall asleep. And we're learning now that we have some more CBN products. And what I'm getting back from patients, it's also just great, not just to fall asleep, but just to calm down. So the CBN chewable tablets from CT Pharma, and since you are concerned about your THC tolerance, it's 11 milligrams of CBN and 2 milligrams of THC. I would say cut that in half and take it at dinner time, as long as you're not driving anywhere after dinner, just to get you, just start to get that wiring down. And then, yeah, I would do that. Chew it, hold it in your gum line for a while, and then swallow it. And the same thing with what you're doing at nighttime, maybe something chewable, like chewable. I think you said you switched to the capsules though, but you have better absorption when you use it sublingually. I think that would be really nice. It's not gonna be like that. You want to do something consistent and you'll probably feel a lot better in 7 to 10 days.
Okay, how long does it take usually for now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the THC in flower, as the flower gets older, it changes to CBN, yes?
Yes, the natural.
So how long does it usually take for that to occur? How long? I have flower, from last year.
I know what you're
it's
getting
one of
at.
the fabulous things is that you're like, I don't ever have to get rid of this because it'll still be good,
Yeah,
It's never a waste of money.
Yeah.
So, I just think, we'll stick this on the shelf for a year and then, it'll be great for nighttime.
Yeah, I've been looking for the exact answer to that question, so I'm gonna find out for sure. And
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll get back to you. So,
Okay.
what dispensary do you go to, Lisa?
Montville.
Okay, and you go to Montville too. Okay, awesome. So you probably know Tanya. She's usually there. Okay, so we're gonna. Because I'm curious also. I'm gonna find out how long, and then I would say, like let's definitely keep in touch because, I think that if you have your medical marijuana card, I feel like if definitely take advantage of working with your pharmacist. We should be able to get you to sleep.
Okay. Good. Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
I have a question, Uzma.
Mm-hmm.
How come we're not seeing a lot of CBG products out, just solid CBG, like a pill with CBG in it? Is there what's the deal on that? Why is there not?
Well, to get CBG, you have to do an early harvest because, again, it's really the cannabinoid. It's like the grandparent cannabinoid where THC and CBD come from. And then that early harvest, I think that it's really up to the grower's preference. And I believe CBG is quite costly. So I think that I think that's why.
Yeah.
I've asked the growers over the years for some more CBG products, but CT Pharma put it out for a little while and then stopped. But there's no difference, right? CBG from hemp or CBG from cannabis. I don't think so. So I think that.
Okay.
That's fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'll ask another question then.
Mhm.
When you look at the names of the flower, say in Massachusetts, well, just in a recreational setting, you've got all your different strain, just the different names. I'm wondering if there's, how people will recommend and say, hey, this is a really great strain. This is a really great strain. But we go to a medical facility where we don't have those names. Is there any way that we know? I don't even know how to ask it.
Yeah, what the strains are.
The
Yeah, it's
strain is
something
if
with
they're
the state.
comparable to the ones that you get in recreational or not.
Yeah, we feel awful about it. Yeah, and that's a great resource, that website that Wendy just popped up there. It has like a Connecticut name strain translator. The DCP, when they designed the program, they really just wanted this interesting nomenclature. And as at the dispensary level, we are not allowed to put strain names in writing. So we can tell them to you when you call us on the phone or when we speak to you, but we can't publish it on our website or send it out in emails, unfortunately. So definitely use that resource, dabanddad.com, or give your dispensary staff a call and we'll be happy to tell you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
It's frustrating for us too, trying to pronounce all those names.
Thank you, you're great.
Oh, thanks. Who was that? Thank you, Elisa.
Oscar.
Oh, Oscar. Okay, thank you.
So this link for decoded Ulysite, that will give me strain names and the medical names as well. Is that what you're?
I believe that's what Elisa just shared. Yeah, she's
On the
our
Dab and Dad.
fearless
Okay,
dispensary
gotcha.
manager in Danbury. So thank you. And the Dab and Dad works well too.
Yep. Thanks.
Charles, I know we spoke about this in the past. No, we haven't quite figured it out yet. But yeah, definitely call me and call Danbury. We'll make an appointment and we can go over stuff for sure. And maybe we can do like a virtual so I can share some of my slides with you. I'm sorry. It's really about patient privacy. That's why we're not sharing the recordings. But we do it for use it for internal staff. It's training. All right, great. It's almost 8:30. We can wrap up, but I'm here if anybody has more questions.
Thank you.
Remember, double points. Thank you. And double points day is tomorrow. You definitely want to take advantage of that. Thank you, Grace.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Happy holidays. Again, there's a lot you can do with this plant, so definitely speak to us. We're here to help you. It's very rewarding for us to be working with cannabis as medicine.
Thank you so much for everything, really. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great holiday.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, hi, Kristen. I hope that you're still doing well. Hey, James, thank you for joining. Thank you, Sam. Great job with the chat.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoy this every month. I look forward to it every month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Sam.
Please fill out the survey so you guys can get your points. And also, feedback is much appreciated. We definitely look at, oh, someone had a question about terpenoids and terpenes. Terpenoids are just a category that terpenes as a chemical structure fall under. So terpenes are a type of terpenoid. Patrick had asked that. I hope he's still on. Otherwise, we'll email him. Tanya, can you repost the survey in the chat?
It was from 8:15 p.m. It was posted.
Perfect. Thank you, Sam and Tanya. But yeah, we really look at that feedback. Definitely if you want to make an appointment with a pharmacist, we'll reach out to you and set that up. If you just want help placing an order, we'll help you with that.
And
And
the
also
next
making
one's
sure
in
you get your
January?
plan. The next one's in January, yeah. I think we're going to do pain management. That's going to be a big one. Yeah, I think we're going to do pain management. It'll be a big one.